Okay. Um, well, first of all, I wanted to give Canadians an update about the Diamond Princess, which is the ship of the coast of Yokohama in Japan. I had a discussion with the Foreign Minister of Japan this morning. Obviously, we were seeking reassurance with respect to the 12 Canadians which have been tested positive for the coronavirus. Some of them are still on the ship, some have been taken care of by the local health authorities. I've obviously asked for an update from my Japanese counterpart and make sure that we could receive all the necessary information to provide consular services to the Canadians. We have also dispatched some health officials to Tokyo to make sure we could be in direct contact with the Japanese authorities. Obviously, we're doing all we can from the consular side to provide that assistance. We know that there are some people who need medications on board. They want to have contact with their family. We're facilitating that. We have 2 emergency response teams in Yokohama dealing with the issues, and we're coordinating. I've been in touch with obviously the CEO of All in America pretty much every day this week, asking regular updates about what's going on. We're coordinating with U.S. authorities as well, and we will obviously provide more information as it comes. We understand that from the Japanese authorities that they may allow for some people to disembark from the ship and be put in quarantine onshore. We are following with that. They will provide specifics during the course of the next hours, I would think, to identify exactly who could disembark the ship and be taken care of by Japanese health authorities. So the latest information I got, which is this morning, I speak to our Canadian ambassador to Tokyo every day. The latest count was 12 people which had contracted the coronavirus. We have 3, potentially 4, which are going to be in hospitals, which have been hospitalized to receive all the assistance that they would need. So we are still monitoring, obviously, the situation very carefully with the Japanese authorities, obviously. And just let me correct, it's 12 Canadians which have contracted the virus, and we have these Canadians are in health facilities in Japan. So just in English, I just want to give the Western Dam update. That's the other ship which is currently on the coast of Sihanoukville in Cambodia. I spoke to the Foreign Minister of Cambodia this morning. They have assured me that they've dispatched 3 ministers to make sure that we would provide all the assistance necessary, that the disembarkation of the Canadians on board, we have more than 250 Canadians on board, that they could go on shore, be transferred to Phnom Penh, which is the capital, and then onward to their destination. So we've also dispatched consular officials in the region to make sure that we could facilitate, but obviously that would be the responsibility of the cruise line, which is All in America. I spoke to the CEO pretty much every day this week. We're very much on top and making sure that we can help Canadians. Well, I'd say since we started our response to the virus in China, we have been in contact. I expect to meet my Japanese and Chinese counterpart, for that matter, as you know, we're on our way to Munich. We expect to have a discussion with respect to the coronavirus, get an update, and making sure that everything is done. But we have repatriated more than 400 Canadians now from Hubei province, and they are, as you know, in Trenton. But I will certainly seek an update from my Chinese counterpart about the status of the situation in China.
On that permanent residence issue?
Yeah, what I was saying is that in the second flight from Canada, as you would recall, when I spoke last to you on this issue, the Chinese authority had indicated that only Canadian citizens would be allowed to board the plane to come back in Canada. We have seen more flexibility from the Chinese authorities in the second flight, because we had a number of permanent residents with links to Canada which have been allowed on the second flight. We have repatriated close to 400 Canadians by now, and obviously we're continuing to provide consular assistance to Canadians which have decided to remain in Wuhan for personal reasons. Some have decided that it's best for them to stay, and we will continue to obviously work with them, be in contact with them as the situation evolves.
Can I just clarify on that?
Sure.
We understand there may be 66 Canadians still in Wuhan who want to come home and are having some issues. I don't know if you have any numbers on that. And also, if I'm a permanent resident of Canada in Hubei and I want to come home, it's the Chinese then that have to be convinced to allow you to return as opposed to the Canadian side?
So, based on the latest information, and I do speak to our Chinese and Japanese ambassador on a daily basis, sometimes multiple times a day, just to make sure we have the latest. I have not received information that we still have Canadians there would like to be repatriated. We were very clear last time that the second Canadian flight would be, the last flight would be chartered to bring back Canadians to Canada and to Trenton. Obviously, as we would always do, we keep providing consular assistance to Canadians which are in Hubei or in Wuhan, and for that matter, across China. And as you know, we have advised Canadians to avoid travel to Hubei province, and we have advised Canadians to avoid all non-essential travel to China. And we even went further to suggest to Canadians that they should, for non-essential presence in China, consider to take commercial flights, because this is a very evolving situation, and we know that different restrictions could be imposed over time. So we've called on Canadians to obviously come back to commercial means by commercial airlines to Canada. No, I think Canada was one of the many countries which responded to the health emergency in China. A number of countries that I'm aware of have been sending supplies, and I think in times of need like that, it's important for countries to come together. Although the coronavirus, the epicenter was in Wuhan and Hubei, I think that now it has become clear for everyone that the world community should be working together to provide assistance.
But it does have diplomatic implications, given this.
Well, I would say, this is Canada, and when in needs, we, in this case, like other case, we want to be there and be able to provide assistance to the extent we can.